Yeah, just up the video there, so I've done it in two parts. There's tree planting going off at the bottom of the woods, as I was saying earlier. So I just don't want to disturbing people while they're planting up. So I've seen at least 50 trees going, I would say, 40 to 50 trees going in the last few weeks, down near the river. Well, it's a large stream, we're running through this wood at that end, so I've decided to double back on myself a little and come back up and through while she's busy. We'll stay out a while. So yes, mine and Betsy's plans will be, all being well, for us to buy some land, probably in about a year's time. I may even buy it a little bit sooner, and then use that pension money to pay it off completely. And meantime, my daughter and her partner, with their camper van excursions and ventures, #van life, are going to go and look at some areas for me, with a view to them using the land as well in the future. Come on then, Mabel. So they can have a good look around, suss the areas out, enjoy themselves while they're travelling. That's what they've decided to do. They've got a little sort of an alternative lifestyle that they want to have a look at, healthier. One's 30, one's 25. They're not bothered about settling down and doing the traditional thing just yet of mortgage and children, if ever. And to be honest, it doesn't massively worry me. I've got 3 children. I think there's enough people in the world. I've no big massive desire to add any more, but if they want to have children, it will be great. But I think that feeling now of populating the whole planet, as we've gone way past it. My sister's got plenty of children. I'm a great uncle, and she's a grandma. My parents are great grandparents. So yeah, I'm quite philosophical about that sort of thing, I think, now. I perhaps wouldn't have been a few years ago, but my attitudes have changed. And I think it's quite a normal thing to want to pass your genes on. But I think once you've done that, then it's up to your children whether they're able to and want to, isn't it, really? So yeah, they've decided on this lifestyle of travel for a while. And they can both earn money on the move, and as digital nomads as well. So there is that option of earning money on the move and being able to, but also with land becomes an extra security, because then you can start to sort out your own shelter and your own food production and your own water collection. So those 3 basics of life, shelter, food and water, can be met eventually once you own land. And I think people are going to start to get wise to this, that the UK, especially England, is extremely highly densely populated. Land ownership rights in England are so tight. There's just a small percentage of people actually owning the land, and nobody else is ever going to get a chance to own that land. They might be able to rent it, but you can't live on your own rented land. So it pushes people further afield. But now, of course, with modern technology, you can stay in touch a lot easier, as long as that system is working. If it isn't, and you're hundreds of miles away on your own land from your family and your network, that's why also it's very important, if you move, you've got to build up a social network within that local community as well. So you've got to think about the language, obviously, straight away, and being able to communicate. Portugal's very friendly, very family orientated. I've been told, and I've seen on other people that are living out there, nice area to live. And of course, when expats move to other countries, they always very quickly suss out who else is there, and they help each other out. That's just human nature. So that's important. So those 4 things, the shelter, the ownership of the land, the shelter, the water storage and use, and and the food production. And of course Portugal's got a nice healthy food producing climate for all sorts of things. So there's going to be my favoured area. The issue comes then with being able to afford, to move out there. So we have a property over here that will probably be paid for within the next 4 years, something like that. So it ties in with our plans of potentially spending more time out on our own land. I'm not talking necessarily for us about living there permanently, but having some sort of movable structure there, and being able to spend a few weeks or months at a time if needs be, with a view eventually to fully retire out there, but then to be able to come back to the UK when money allows, to see family, have them out with us, and also possibly get a small income from renting rooms out or renting a house out over here, which is again ties into what I was saying. We've worked a long time as nurses in the past, and now I'm a gardener. To be able to afford this sort of option and choice, so the option is there. So I think, babe, come on, she's chewing again. Come on. Discourage her. Come on, go on. She's had a little stand and a chew. So yeah, but then life always throws up these little unexpected, doesn't it? So unexpected events. So we'll have to be prepared for that. And one of them is we're out of Europe now, whether we like it or not. We're not going back into the European Union. It's very, very unlikely. All the money that's been spent on getting in and then now coming out, that's not going to happen. Not for an awful long time, if ever. Come on, Mabel. So the 3-month rule at the moment is such that you can only spend 3 months at a time out of the UK in the European Union on a temporary visa, and then you have to return, otherwise you're in breach of your visa. And I believe that applies to most countries in the world. You can spend up to 3 months there, 3 months home and then 3 months back, so you can spend in total a 6 months period split up in the middle by 3 months back home. And then you have to look to try and get a permanent visa to stay there, and that can be based around having a job there, having making money and earning money and helping the economy, having learnt the language, quite a few things. So you are right to stay in that country, but each country is different on that area. So that's something I'm going to have to look more at, and I have started some investigations into it for Portugal. We would drive over. I think that would probably be, unless we were desperate, needed to get back quickly, we would probably just drive, taking roughly 3 days back to Yorkshire in England. Maybe, come on. But that would suit us fine. Take our time coming back, and then stay either in small motels, or if we have the money for a camper van, we'd probably do that. Mabel, go on. So yeah, and the big elephant in the room when you discuss these things is always being able to survive within an economy. Because even the guy I know at Mossy Bottom in Ireland, even though his food production's now been going for up to 5 years, he probably produces only about 60% of his own food. He's got eggs, he doesn't slaughter any of his animals for meat, he's a vegetarian. He sea fishes, so he keeps mackerel that he's caught and salts them or stores them in his freezer. He's got solar for his electricity, no mains connection water, buys in his own bottled water. So you just have to look at these, but even then, another 40% of things he buys in are from money, using money, obviously, from various ways that he uses to make money. So there's ways and means of looking at these lifestyles. None of them are going to make you rich. You know, if you want to go down this route, you've either got to take an awful lot of money with your pensions and savings and sell property, or you'd be prepared to live quite a meagre existence in terms of material wealth. But you do need, you do need to have that adventurous spirit. Mabel! Mabel! We're going back down again this path. She likes it up there for some reason. Yeah, you do need to have an adventurous spirit to be able to want to do something like that. You don't have to give up everything, for a different lifestyle. And life is for living, as they say. It's important to try new things and experience things. And it won't go exactly as you planned. Life never does it? But you've got to be prepared to try. And I think with us, to set up over probably the next 5 years after the land is bought, to set up some sort of living arrangement on the land, if it can be bought close enough to a largish or smallish town, village, so we may be able to apply for some planning permission to build some sort of proper structure on there. But I don't think there's any need. I think there's some chainsaws just started up further down. Just bear with me.